avid readers, book nerds, or casual observers. Welcome to the read-along, brought to you by the Lit Round Table. I'm Anna.
And I'm Joseph, and this is our discussion of the Lies of Locke Lamora, Book 1 of the Gentleman Bastard series by Scott Lynch. Well, I wrote a big list of things I hated about the Hobbit movies. But before we get to that, let's talk really quickly about Lies of Locke Lamora.
Yeah.
For chapters 14, 15?
Yep.
What you said?
Yep.
Okay.
I've got a timer.
I hand the reins over to you.
Timer is started.
Okay.
Okay, so this week we're talking about chapters 14 and 15. So chapter 14 is called 3 Invitations. And this is kind of like it's like a braided essay in style because you're going between 3 different events that are happening. So we're following Locke as he goes to the Salvaras again. And we're following Jean as he is I know what he was looking through dead bodies, but maybe he was looking for money. I'm not sure what he was looking for.
He was masquerading as a priest of the death goddess. Mm-hmm. And he got onto the boat, right?
I don't think he was on the boat.
Or no, you're right. He was in a building nearby and found a bunch of dead bodies that I think they were killed by
Caporaza.
Yeah, they had the piercing marks from the falconer's scorpion falcon. So they got killed by falcon.
Yes.
And I forget why that was an important revelation at the time.
I don't know.
Anyway, that happens.
And then Caporaza also visits Donna Vorcenza, who is the spider. Mm-hmm. So she's the one in charge of the secret police. So those are the 3 storylines that you follow in this chapter. Locke, with the Salvaras, is asking them for money.
Yes.
Because obviously they have lost all of their money. Mm-hmm. And the Salvaras are like, oh, we don't have any more money right now. Things are really tight, but there's this party we're going to, and you should totally come. And while we're there, we'll make some inquiries about borrowing some money from some of our friends.
We'll rub elbows.
Yeah, we'll help iron out this shipping issue that he manufactured.
Yeah.
To get more money.
Right.
And he doesn't want to go to the party, but then he can't talk himself out of going. He can't come up with a good enough reason to not go with them. So he ends up going to the party, but that is covered in chapter 15.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that. And then for Jean, he, while he's looking at these dead bodies, who shows up, Joseph?
The sisters.
Yes.
Sisters.
Yeah, the nasty kind.
Yeah.
And so he has a big old blowout with them.
Yeah, they have some fisticuffs.
Oh my gosh.
I liked how he fought the sisters with the Wicked Sisters, the name of his hatchets.
Yes.
It's oh look, poetry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that was very intense.
Very intense. They traded blows, although he actually took them out kind of easier than I thought he would, because I know we've heard about him being a really good fighter and everything.
Yeah. We haven't really seen it though.
Yeah, we didn't really know, or we couldn't really appreciate just how good he was, because this is the first actual fight that we've gotten to read. That wasn't just a really fast brawl kind of situation. He actually had the hatchets and he was fighting someone else that also had a weapon, you know?
Right. This was all the other times we've seen him fighting, it's been flashbacks.
Yeah.
To when they were training.
Right.
So
there's been a lot of build up to seeing him actually get to cut loose.
Yeah. Which he does. But he doesn't come out unscathed.
No, he's kind of on death's door as he's leaving.
Yeah.
They got some good hits in.
They did. But he came out on top. And then for so that's okay. So the name of the episode is 3 Invitations, right? So the first invitation is the Salvaras inviting Locke to this big party. I think the second invitation is supposed to be Jean in fighting. I said that weird. Oh my
Inviting.
gosh.
Inviting.
Inviting
Yeah.
the two sisters to fight with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third invitation comes from Caporazza, who forces the Donna Vorcenza to invite him to this big party by using the mage.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's very disturbing.
Yeah, it was kind of creepy to read because she was like, no, I can't do that. Like that'll never work, and
Right.
all this stuff. Like gave him a million reasons why that would never work and why they never did this with the old Kappa, and there's a reason for that, and like we need to keep ourselves separated. Like we have a good thing going. Don't mess this up. And he was like, I don't think I can wait for you to trust me. I think we're just gonna do this now. And the Falconer just uses magic and forces her into submission and makes her agree to invite him to the party.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a weird magical brainwashing. So.
Yep. And then the interlude for this chapter was about the daughters of Camor and how like
Oh, yeah.
the
Yeah.
how the prostitutes of Camor have like
Unionized.
yes. So that was interesting.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how that's going to come. I know it's going to be important, but it has not been revealed yet how that is so important.
Yeah, it's like a weird. It's like just a weird story about how, you know, the prostitutes like stole the business out from under.
The pimp.
Yeah, they realized that they actually have all the power and just decided to start taking the money for themselves.
Yeah.
And if any of the other kappas or anyone tried to like get power back over them, they would
get rid of them.
Yeah, they would just fight them or stab them in the back. Yeah.
Yep. So
In
there's
Kappa-
like two
in-
different groups.
Yeah.
So like there's one part of the city that has like one group of them, and the other part of the city has the other, and then there's some middle ground where they just don't bother each other.
No. Yeah, and Kappa
But-
Varsavy, when he took over, was apparently very careful to not upset that
Yeah.
situation.
Right.
He recognized them as their own thing, and he didn't mess with them.
Yep.
So.
Yep. So maybe
interesting.
that'll come up to bite Caporazza. Because I have a feeling that he just doesn't care about what was already going on.
Yeah, probably not.
So then chapter 15 is called Spider Bite. So this chapter is all about Locke being at this big party, which is impressive. It's like they're in this glass tower and there's multiple floors, and when you look down you can see like all the floors below you.
There's an elevator to get up there. You can see
Yeah.
the whole city. It's where all the rich people hang.
Yes.
Basically.
And Locke is continuously fighting some like fear of heights and like weird motion sickness.
Yeah.
Because you can see all this like stuff going on in this glass tower.
Yeah.
And so he's rubbing elbows with the rich people. He runs into the banker
Yeah,
whose
he
clothes
does.
he's wearing.
He's wearing the guy's clothes and runs into him at the party.
And the guy's mad. I can't think of I can't pronounce his name off the top of my head.
Yeah. Miragio.
Yes, thank you. And I was going to say Mercutio. And I was like, no, that's Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah. Miragio. Yeah, he sees him in the crowd, and Locke sees him see him, and Locke's internally like, oh no.
And the guy clearly has put together what's happening.
And he walks up to him, or he thinks he's like, those are totally my clothes, and walks up to him, and Locke has to totally just try to figure out a way to talk his way out of it.
Which he does.
He manages to tell him that like, oh yeah, I went to a tailor and asked him who has the best taste here in Camor, and he said, oh, how about this outfit? This is something that one of the most fashionable people in the city wears. And so basically like also like stroked his ego
Yes.
and managed to worm his way out of
Yeah,
like,
confused him enough that he was like, oh, okay.
maybe I'm wrong. Could have sworn that was my jacket you're
yeah.
wearing, but whatever. It was very entertaining.
Yes. And the whole time, the Donna Salvara, Sophia, is like trying to get Locke to come meet the Donna Vorcenza, who's this addle-minded old lady.
Yeah.
But she's very popular and very rich, and everybody loves her, but she's knitting because she doesn't really like people that much.
Yeah.
And she finally is like leading Locke to go meet with her, and they run into Caporazza on the stairs.
Yeah, like passing each other on the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
Such a great, like, these are the moments in like spy movies where, you know, like the spies who've been like trying to kill each other the whole movie, like, see each other in the party.
The timer's done, but we'll finish this.
We'll keep going. We're almost done. That was a great exchange. Oh man,
so good.
And in it, Locke was like, I forget what exactly he said. He was like, "Have we met before? Maybe do you have like sisters or something?"
Yes. Well, and
I was just like, oh, because he knows that Jean. Doesn't he know by then that Jean killed him? Yeah. Oh man.
And he's like, "No, I don't have any sisters."
Yeah. Oh, that was savage. Oh no.
And then and Caporazza asks him if because Locke's whole shtick is that he's like a merchant selling wine and brandy. And he's like, "Oh, do you deal in caskets?"
Yeah.
And Locke's like, "We do."
Oh.
It's so good. It's so well written. It's beautiful.
Such witty banter.
And
I live for those moments.
Madonna Sophia's like, "What just happened?" Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, nothing. He reminded me of someone that I don't like."
Yeah.
So then they get to the Donna Borcenza, and Sophia's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get her some water. Do you need anything?" And then she leaves. And so Locke is just like hanging out in this room with this old lady that's like ignoring him. And then she stabs him with a knitting needle in the back of the neck. Yep.
He like goes to the window to look at something and then gets stabbed by a knitting needle, which turns out was poisoned.
Yes. So she wants him to talk, and he's like, "Why would I talk? You're gonna kill me."
Yeah.
And then he has this revelation that I'm gonna punch this old lady, and he clocks her right in the face.
Yeah.
And steals the antidote, ties her to a chair, and escapes.
It was kind of an entertaining way to cut the tension, because it's like, this is, I mean, Locke isn't the best in a fight, but this is also an old lady.
Yeah.
And if she has the antidote on her, it wouldn't be hard to just...
Right. Well, and she also revealed that she is the spider.
Yeah.
Which he didn't know before.
Mm-hmm.
So he gained a lot of information from this
party.
party. So he escapes out the window, has to hop onto an elevator.
Yep.
He's like terrified. He just sits on the elevator the whole ride down because he's so scared of heights.
Uh-huh.
And pays off the footman at the bottom that it was just a big bird they saw jump into the elevator, and then he pays for a ride home-ish to the area.
Yeah.
And when he gets home, he walks in the door, and he's like, "Jean, you are not going to believe what just happened." But the falconer is already there.
Yep.
And
the Physiker guy and Jean are on the floor. Mm-hmm. I think Jean is like writhing in pain.
Yes.
And the falconer is
like, "Oh yeah, we have some interesting things to discuss." And then the chapter ends.
Yep.
I'm like, and I really wanted to keep reading, but I knew that you had already finished it, so I was like, "No, I have to stop so that we don't accidentally go into the next chapter."
Yeah. I've read it.
So, yeah. So next week will be our last week talking about the Lies of Locke Lamora.
Oh, because it's the last chapter and epilogue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Ooh.
I know. It's going to be really good.
I'm pumped.
And then we're going to read The Dragons of Autumn Twilight.
I'm very excited for that.
So if you haven't already, and you want to read along with us, go get your copy of that book.
Yep.
So,
cool.
All right.
And that concludes today's discussion on the Lies of Locke Lamora. Look forward to our next discussion. Until then, happy reading.